So a thing happened the other day. Images of the new Umbra Prime are released and lots of internet trolls ran amok shouting, "Ha! Take that, you founder scum!" And I didn't quite get it. Not until someone asked me if I felt bad that there was a newer, better version of Excalibur Prime, to which my response was pretty much, nope. And that's when I realized, in the world of Warframe, some people love too much, and in my case, I don't really love at all. And this is why you shouldn't either. See, when faced with the new Excalibur Umbra, my first thought wasn't to mourn the loss of my Excalibur Prime, because he wasn't going anywhere. My first thought was, cool, I wonder when it's gonna ship in the global build. See, the thing is, I think that some people assume that I have this deep-seated attachment to any one particular frame or particular weapon, when the real case is, I don't actually really love anything. And maybe that statement is a little hyperbolic. However, the reality is, while there are particular weapons and warframes that I quote-unquote love, they sit in a pool of my favorites. I don't just stick to one thing, I make it a point to try out lots of different things, and expand my pool. So if Enemy AI 2.0 launches and completely borks the way stealth works, I'm not gonna cry over the loss of my extended duration invisibility build on Loki, I'll just fill in the mission type that I used that build in with a different frame. No big deal, you adjust and you move on. I feel like sometimes players in this game grow too accustomed to using a particular loadout and become excessively emotionally attached to what slowly ends up becoming a crutch. Then, when those crutches are kicked out from underneath them, instead of hoisting themselves back on their feet, learning to take steps on their own, they simply throw themselves on the ground in a big kicking and screaming fit, not realizing that their quote-unquote love for this warframe or weapon, or most recently this movement system, has narrowed their vision of why certain changes have to be made. These things can be unbalanced, overpowered, or just not working as intended, and to be frank, sometimes it's these qualities that lead players to fall for them. Just look at Mag's greedy pull. Sure, it was an optimal way to keep frames like Mesa fueled for interception, but regardless of whether it was a good change or a bad change, it changed. And now I've got players that are convinced that Draco interception is dead and that Mag is completely useless. Well, first and foremost, I still use Draco. I never depended on a specific group makeup to level quickly before. And secondly, Mag's Shield Polarize is still one of the few AoE damage abilities that scale into extended T4 missions. So while she's not Mesa's energy bitch anymore, she is still just as effective as she was before. Frankly, players form this artificial dependence that prevents them from looking at the bigger picture. Regardless of their reasons, I've been around long enough to say that this game changes too damn often to love anything that much. From Rhino's Iron Skin 1.0 to Ember's Overheat to Damage 1.0 and soon enough Parkour 1.0, some things become obsolete and good players learn to adjust. It's called survival of the fittest, not survival of those who complain incessantly on the forums because some shit has changed or something new has been added. When the ammo changes to explosive weapons happened, did I cry? No, I just became a better shot. When Damage 2.0 drastically lowered the effectiveness of the Acrid, did I rush to the forums to protest? No, I spent time testing out the new elemental combos in order to deal the optimal amount of damage. And when Parkour 2.0 comes around, I'm not going to be crying over the torpedo. You better believe that I will be getting my fair share of ninja practice. The fact is, much like real life, change is going to happen, and what defines the kind of person you are is the way that you handle those curveballs. So, while my initial statement might have been a bit brash, I'm not telling you to love nothing. I'm telling you to love what you love, fully knowing that one day it could be taken away. And while that will be a sad day, there will always be more weapons, more warframes, and more everything to experience. But only if you don't fill your days wallowing over lost love. It's a big universe out there, and there will always be more toys to play with. So thank you all for watching yet another editorial. Leave me your thoughts and comments below, unless of course it's complaining about Mag's greedy pull. I will seriously just delete that shit. Now be sure to catch my previous editorial on why everyone should learn to play Banshee solo, as well as my most recent Dress to Kill episode on customizing Oberon. Now, don't forget to do all the things that I ask you to do at the end of every one of these, and as always, stay tuned to watch me fangasm over future changes here at A Gay Guy Plays. Seriously though, when these changes happen, some people act like crazy ex-boyfriends. Listen, Zoran Coptering has moved on, and so should you.